Joining us now to discuss is Georgia Congressman and member of the House Oversight Committee, Jody Hice. So, Congressman, great to see you. Thanks for joining us. First, I want to get your reaction to the Supreme Court's decision today.
Hey, great decision. It really is a decision for liberty. Look, we're a country that's based politically on the concept of limited state government and maximum individual freedom. And we have had so much of that taken away from us with the pandemic over the last couple of years, and the Democrats have just taken a power grab to have more and more control over our lives. And yes, with freedom there come certain risks, but when the issue is health, no one is more concerned about individual health than the individual themselves. This should be a decision between the patient and the physician, not the patient and the president and the physician, or the patient and OSHA and the physician. And for government to step in is absolutely wrong. Forcing people to have a job or to have food on their table is just unthinkable, unprecedented, what this government has tried to do in such an overreach, and I'm thrilled with the decision today by the Supreme Court.
Congressman, I got to tell you, I can barely keep track of all the failures of this administration in just a short period of time. One of their failures, obviously, is how they've handled this virus, their lack of strategy, their inability to play on offense. Let's listen to Biden earlier, where he actually urges social media and TV networks to censor what he considers COVID misinformation.
If you haven't gotten vaccinated, do it. Personal choice impacts us all, our hospitals, our countries. I make a special appeal to social media companies and media outlets. Please deal with the misinformation and disinformation that's on your shows. It has to stop.
Literally, Congressman, he's making the big tech your doctor. What do you think?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Listen, I have a doctor. I don't need big tech. I don't need Joe Biden. I don't need Kamala Harris telling me what to do. I have a doctor, and I have full trust in my doctor. I have the ability to make decisions that are in the best interest of my health, and other Americans have the same privilege. We do not need, nor is it constitutionally allowable for our government to intrude into our lives to the extent of forcing us to do things that we don't want to do, and as the Supreme Court said to do today, to do, in this case, a vaccine that is undoable once a person receives it. And we don't know all the side effects that may be forthcoming in the future. So it is just unprecedented, the overreach that this administration has been trying to take, and now trying to bully big tech, which, as though they're not already bullying so many people, but for the attempt to get big tech involved in this whole argument is yet again a disastrous decision, a disastrous calling upon this administration for a further overreach into our lives.
And you know, Congressman, when you talk about a power grab, Biden went down to Georgia this week. He gave that very divisive speech earlier in your home state of Georgia. He compared people who disagree with his voting reforms to Jim Crow, Bill Connor, and segregationists. But I want you to listen to how Speaker Nancy Pelosi describes his speech.
I thought his speech was wonderful, and I stand with him in the fight for voting rights. I thought it was fabulous. I come out, congratulate him for it. It was well received.
Well received by whom? I mean, what about for Georgians? What do you think they made of that speech?
Yeah, it was only well received by socialists and communists, people who love the government to dictate our lives. But for freedom-loving Americans, they resisted every word of that speech. They will not have anything to do with it. And listen, it is this type of behavior, this type of attitude that is going to create, I believe, a red wave across this country come November of this year. The American people are rebelling, if you will, against this radical left-wing socialistic ideology that this administration and the Democrats are trying to cram down the throats of the American people. We are a freedom-loving people. We are not a bunch of socialists. We love freedom. We love limited government. And the more the Democrats go down this type of path, the more they are going to see a red wave swell that is going to totally reject this democratic socialistic ideology to the core.
The Democrats are obviously using the voting rights legislation as their attempt to distract from what I believe are the COVID pandemic and the economic woes of this country. I mean, do you believe that the Democrats get this right when it comes to wanting to nuke the filibuster? I mean, they are the ones that want to create a banana republic here in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. Look at it. I cannot honestly think of one solid good administration has made the past year that's in the best interest of our country. We have soaring gas prices, soaring inflation. We have out of control southern border, absolutely in chaos. We are less respected around the world. Biden's signature policy, Build Back Better, is dead in the Senate. And what are they doing now? They're trying to federalize and take over the elections, which clearly in the Constitution is left to the individual states. And yet they want to have yet another power grab to take over elections so that they can tip the scales in their favor. And again, the American people are wising up to this. They see what's going on. They're tired of it. And I believe they're going to reject it soundly come November.
Yeah, I think so, too. It was amazing after you saw President Biden today on the Hill speaking with Democrats. He spoke with the press, and he was yelling at the press. It just reeks of desperation amid all these failures of his administration right now. Congressman Jody Hice, it is always great to see you, and we're so glad you could join us tonight. Thank you.
My pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much.